It's Elite POV, coming live to your area on twitch.tv.
Let's fucking go!
We are your number one place for everything in the world of all elite wrestling. And just remember, when you're with us, you'll always be elite.
Yo, it's clear to see when you open up your feed that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. We bring the heat to your screen every week, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. So understand every time that we speak that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. Our 3 letters is all you'll ever need, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. And this is a very, very special night for us. This is our last live show for the year of 2021. What a fucking year it's been. But also, importantly, this is our end of the year award show, our first annual end of the year award show. So we are going to start off with that, right? That's what we agreed to.
We didn't really agree. You're the host.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with that. We're going to start off with that, and then we're going to get to Dynamite. Yes, all ego. And thank you for everybody who voted for the Queen of Strange shirt. Kyle, I don't know what happened to you because
Wendy Tussberger.
You're the only one to get people to vote, and you had the lowest votes. But my name is Phil Cataldo, and you can call me Phil. That's my gimmick. Don't steal my gimmick. Well, I'm Phil Cataldo, but you can call me Philium, alongside the producer the man who did not win the poll, the man who's trying to steal my gimmick, Kyle Masters. What is up?
What's going on? Look at this. Look at this fancy layout. It's award season, baby. It's award season.
Look at the fancy layout behind you as you get ready to move. And
my U-Haul box.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shout out to U-Haul. Shout out to U-Haul, guys. Let's get that U-Haul sponsorship.
Official sponsor. Keep it moving with U-Haul.
We are also joined by the best dressed on the show, the draw, Jackie Rodriguez. What
the fuck, bro? I'm gonna let you finish in a minute. Yeah, Kyle Masters had the best getup of all time.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You just got T Swift.
God, I can't have a shot at a compliment on the show. Anyway, yes, I'm dressed for the occasion. It's awards night. I felt like I would do a little red carpet, break out some sequins, but last show of the year, as Phil said, and so let's get hyped in the chat.
Let me get some J's in the chat for Jackie.
J's?
Anybody who watches the Sammy vlog will understand that. And then, of course, my fellow sick boy this week.
Yes.
The king of talk style.
The king of positive.
What is up? What is going on? You and Jackie had a huge week with the FTR interview. We're doing big numbers. It's getting shared everywhere. What's going on, sir?
Aunt's here fresh mate after making out with Aunt Rona.
Yeah, right. It's like literally the biggest week. I'm so excited to do the show. COVID kicks me in my nuts. Here I am, COVID positive. My wife's COVID positive. My 2-year-old daughter's COVID positive. It's just a great time in the DeStefano household. But I don't miss shows. Phil will tell you, unless I'm not in my house, I will not miss a show. I'll miss it.
And even then, we have to get him to not be on the show. Let's be honest, he wanted to do the show from Disney, and we told him no.
Yes, I did. I was in the room. I was like, I'll go on my phone. Yeah. But it's like hell in here. I'm not going to be doing as much talking because I'm running out of breath. Usually it's just because I'm fat. Now it's because I have COVID. But we're gonna have a great show. Yeah, a little Creed. Yeah. I love butt rock. That's gonna be coming back soon. But we have a great award show. I ran the awards. I'm telling you, there were so many close races to the point that I told Kyle the wrong winner, and he just changed it about 3 minutes before showtime. So, yes, that's how close this one was. So we can't wait to get into it. So I guess, Phil, without further ado, we'll get into the award show.
Well, before we get into the award show.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, well, yep. Nope. You screwed it twice.
If it's your first time listening, welcome to the show. We do the show every Thursday live at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Elite POV, where replays available on youtube.com/Elite POV or anywhere you guys get your podcast from. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/ElitePOV. We got some great stuff up there and even more great stuff coming. And if you want to get some great merch like this Queen of Strange shirt that I am wearing right now, or our brand new Pinnacle of Podcasts logo, shirt, words, everything that is up there, shout out to our boy Infinity, #PayTheMan. Go over to ElitePOVmerch.com to get all the great stuff. Let's start off the year strong. Get yourself some great merch. It does not take long to ship. I just got my stuff in, as you can tell. Great time. We even got masks, right? COVID is hitting everybody. We got masks up there for you guys, too.
#pay the man.
Hashtag
Pay the podcast.
With all that being said, let's get into the first annual Elite POV End of the Year Award Show. And we're going to start off from the bottom to the top, right? We're going to finish strong. And we're going to start off.
Never did that in my life.
Yeah.
We're going to start off
Can't
in
confirm.
a good way. Let's do
God.
Theme of the Year. The nominees are Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson,
Ooh.
Ruby Soho,
Oh.
Jungle Boy,
Oh.
and Chris Jericho.
Ah.
And the winner is of course it's Adam Cole. Let's be honest.
Baby.
We
Let's
don't.
be honest.
We can't have the theme song. So I got. You know we send you pick it. There you go.
Yeah. You know it's all about the
That's,
boom.
that's very close enough.
It's
Shout out to
similar
Mikey
that.
Ruckus too for making that.
Yeah, Ruckus is amazing.
Song.
There wasn't a song close to this in voting. I swear this was 86% of the vote. Like, not
As
even
if there
close.
was any doubt.
I don't know. Danielson's theme slap, so I thought that would get a little bit more love. Like, I could twerk to that shit, but All About the Boom definitely wins in a landslide.
I'd like to see that twerk on her TikTok.
All right,
I'll
give you. I will give you the Elite POV.
Now we're gonna jump to Faction of the Year, and the nominees are The Inner Circle, Dark Order, Super Elite, The Pinnacle, and Best Friends. And the winner is
Elite POV.
Elite POV. But also,
The Pinnacle of Podcast.
the Super Elite wins this, which is very shocking. I thought the Dark Order might
thought
take
Dark
this one, or
Order
the
would've won
Pinnacle.
it. Yeah, it was. Again, this one was one of the landslides.
Mhm.
But again, if you're talking in terms of, like, let's say kayfabe, right? Let's say of championships, of domination, who was hotter than the Super Elite this year?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
all
it's
the
true.
titles at one point,
majority
even
of the
going
year,
over to
yeah.
Impact. Yeah, they had all the titles.
I mean, Kenny Omega alone had more titles than anyone.
Yeah, you're right. He had more titles than his whole group. It's hilarious.
That's pretty.
Now we
Jack-
move on.
Jackie, was that the right pick?
Was that the right pick?
You don't
I
look
am
like you liked it too much.
Wow.
Well, could you imagine why? Why I might not?
Of course, we
agree
wanted the
with it?
Pinnacle to win.
Hey, my boys
We
in the
are the
Pinnacle, and I'm not
Pinnacle
mad.
of podcast.
First off, if I just watch AEW, right, I would think the Pinnacle was with Andrade.
Yeah,
I thought
No,
like
facts,
I thought
facts.
FTR would be like Andrade. FTR would be the Pinnacle, honestly.
and Malachi.
And Malachi, yeah.
No.
House of Pinnacle.
No, in all seriousness, no, I agree that the Super Elite was definitely the faction of the year. As much as I would love to be biased, they had
My
a
boy is in
kick-ass
the
year.
Pinnacle, and I am not mad. So you can't be mad.
I'm not.
Mm.
I just
Yeah,
like to
it's true.
pretend I am.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's such a like.
You
I'm
are
not
the
mad.
honorary member.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. First female member will be the draw, Jackie Rodriguez, when she walks out FTR to the ring at All Out
Keep that
next year.
into existence.
Manifest. We manifesting over here.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, no.
2022. We
A
manifesting.
pay-per-view entrance. Jackie's gonna be walking them out. It won't be Tully.
Yeah, and
It's
then me and
Jackie.
Ant are gonna come out with the Lucha Bros rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We just gotta learn the whole thing.
You'll be one of those
Bars.
dancers that they had with the mask, just doing this.
Yeah, right. The best part is on my end, I can't see what you're doing. I gotta wait a
I
couple
know. Yeah,
seconds.
just
to
wait,
see
you'll
it.
see. You know what I'm talking about. The all-out entrance.
Yeah.
Sometimes a couple seconds is all it takes.
Yeah.
You're right. So now let's move on to promo of the year, and this is a very interesting category. And I'm seeing Kyle do the dance right now. This is hilarious. So we have the nominees: Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk, MJF versus CM Punk,
Mm.
CM Punk's return promo,
There's a theme
the
here.
Arn Anderson Glock promo that took over the world, Hangman Cowboy shit promo on his way to Full Gear, and the winner is MJF and CM Punk. Another shocking one, Jackie. How did you feel about these results?
That was my vote. So I'm cool with that. That was like, what did they say? 20 or 21 minutes of fire.
Yep.
Just like nonstop assault back and forth. I thought, in my opinion, that is the promo of the year. So
That's a
People
hard one though,
voted
because
correctly.
nothing makes you feel the way that, and I guess it wasn't just the promo, it was the environment of hearing Chicago chant CM Punk
Yeah.
and seeing CM Punk for the first time in 7 years, and the happiness in his voice when he did that promo. That to me, it's up for another award, right? But like that was great. But man, when MJF and CM Punk went at it, I remembered why I loved pro wrestling so much, because for 21 minutes, people were just talking and I just couldn't look away. I couldn't tune out, even if I wanted to. Everything was getting ignored. The house could have been on fire, and I was like, "Hold on, 1 minute, I got to hear this." Like, that's when you know a promo is amazing.
Just throw some water
Oh,
on
you
you.
ain't
You'll be
lying.
okay.
Now let's go over to show of the year, and this one, according to Ant, was very, very close. So
One
we
vote.
have Revolution, Double or Nothing, All Out, AEW Grand Slam, and most recently Full
WrestleMania.
Gear.
Bound for glory.
And the winner is, no surprise to me, All Out. One of the greatest wrestling shows of all time, kept you hyped from start to finish. I recently, about a week ago, on my birthday, I started to rewatch it. Man, it is really great from beginning to end. But Ant, I'll start with you, even though you just started coughing.
Yeah.
What did you think about everything?
I mean, honestly, this was close, and I didn't understand why it was close. I know at Full Gear was great. Don't get me wrong. I know at Full Gear, Punk and Kingston went at it, and it was amazing. I know at Full Gear that Hangman had his crowning moment, but man, All Out, Punk comes back to wrestling. You have that great main event. Danielson debuts. Cole debuts. Like how
Ruby
there's
Soho.
no Ruby Soho debuts.
Yeah.
There is no wrestling show. I put that up against every wrestling show. That is my all-time favorite show. So I don't know. Like, again, I'm not saying that Full Gear wasn't a great show, but I thought this would be a landslide.
And every match was a banger, right?
Every
Jackie,
match.
what do you think?
That, without a doubt, was my favorite pay-per-view of the year. And I think I said it when we did the recap show. It was my favorite pay-per-view possibly ever. Start to finish, every match was a banger. There were no sleepers on that. Well, wait a minute. There may have been one very slight sleeper. But other than that, no, it was a...
Was that the Paul White?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was a great
Oh, no
match.
more.
That was
Hey,
match
no
of the
more
year.
beer.
I forgot.
Well, wait,
I forgot that match was
commercial?
even on the card.
That match was needed because my fucking anxiety was through the roof and I needed a drink.
I was upset that
Yeah.
wasn't in the match of the year category for
Yeah,
choices.
was
I was kind of upset.
It wasn't in there because it would have won by a landslide,
Yeah.
and we really didn't want to be predictable.
I mean,
you know?
hey, the fans speak, man. If they want that to be match of the year over the other ones that were in there, tells you a lot about Paul White.
I can't keep up with this.
Sorry about QT
This
Marshall.
the shenanigans you guys are doing right now.
But I mean,
So now we go
Oh,
to
whoa.
actually, Kyle. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle.
that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
No, my opinion doesn't matter here.
No, go ahead.
No.
Oh, Kyle.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just brought in an
Go ahead.
11-11 for no reason.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that All Out was unreal. Like I thought again, I'm with all you. I thought that was gonna be a landslide. So much happened in that entire event from like start to finish. And even that was the event the tag team match was in, right? Between the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers in the cage.
Yep.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
this should have won by a massive landslide. Like it was so good.
Recency
So,
bias. It's recency
I guess so.
bias.
Yeah.
So
Everyone,
it's-
but everyone's got their opinions. So, but yeah, I thought it was. I would have picked it all day. All day.
So wait, you just did all that just to give that opinion? You
Yeah.
just did all. You just put on a whole shenanigans.
I just
just
wanted my voice to be
basically
heard.
repeat exactly what. Go talk indie wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna turn my camera off. I feel like I'm not needed here.
Oh, come back, Kyle.
Kyle, come back.
We'll just go back to the 3-man booth.
Yeah. Shocking moment of the year, not including Kyle's debut at 11-11, because of course that would have won by a landslide. Does that make you feel better?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there you go.
Good.
Butter
That's a
my
nice
So
segue.
now-
butter my biscuit. Why don't you?
Yeah. The nominees are the CM Punk return, the double debut at All Out, Malachi Black's debut, Chris Statlander's return at Arcade Anarchy, and Nick Gage showing up in AEW. And the winner is, shocking nobody, CM
Nick
Punk's
Gage.
return. What an absolute incredible moment. And I'm going to the CM Punk guy first. And this was years in the making for you.
Oh.
This literally had you blowing up my phone the second it hit the dirt sheets. The
Yep.
second Fightful started reporting that this might happen, you were going crazy. Just reflect on this moment of CM Punk.
I mean, I don't want to sell short the other moments though either. Like for real, like I know I said it jokingly, but Nick Gage showing up on AEW
Was crazy.
television was so fucking cool, and it made me love being a wrestling fan. You know, same with Suzuki, same with all the great moments of the double debut. But we as wrestling fans, right? Like before, I remember when AEW first started, people were like, it's only going to be successful if you bring like CM Punk back. It's only going to be successful if you get Punk. It's only going to, and they were successful for 2 years, right? And they were climbing in the ratings for 2 years. And they proved to CM Punk that they were a viable option and it should be the place to be if you're a pro wrestler. CM Punk didn't like sports entertainment. He missed pro wrestling. He needed to see pro wrestling, and he did. And that's what came back. I mean, reflecting on it, man, we all watched it together. We were all tearing up. Fucking emotions were going crazy. I bought the shirt when he was kneeling on the ramp as there's tears in my eyes. I'm like, I got to get that shirt.
Yep, and
before
was
it
one of
sells
the
out.
people who got the shirt really fast before the website crashed.
Yep,
Hold
as
up.
soon as I
got
heard
it too.
Cult
They
of
just gave me the
Personality.
wrong one.
Yeah, well, because they don't have the different trim in Canada
Yeah.
for some reason. They don't exist. But man, it was. I mean, I have a card of it right here. Like it is literally
Mhm.
my favorite moment in pro
Speaking
wrestling
of
since
that,
I got
hold on.
back to it. What do you got? An ice cream bar? Is it melted?
No, I also
No,
have
it's
the
still in
card.
the package.
I also have the card. Shout out to
Yep.
Rob.
Yeah. But like,
Shout out to Rob for the
I mean,
card.
we all watched it together. We all felt the emotions together. But just seeing it was one of the only times I'll tell you this year that the wrestling community was all together, and they were like, "Okay, this is really fucking cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, talking about crying, Kyle, I know you shed some tears. CM Punk was also your boy. How did it make you feel?
Nah, I'm good.
I will super kick you through this goddamn screen.
No, that was an unreal. Then the pop. I think the big thing is here. I think it can attest for everyone. I think everyone's gone back and rewatched that YouTube video at least between 20 to 50 times. I know us
I watched
probably
it today.
more. It's incredible, and it's got like insanely amount of views. But like, if you go back, do yourself a favor, get a good pair of headphones, crank it up, and listen to that pop. I don't remember a pop that loud ever since the Austin era. Like that was
But it
the
gets
last time I
louder.
heard pop like that.
Like when he
Yeah.
walks out, it
Yeah.
goes like a decimal higher
Yeah.
to one that you
Yeah,
didn't even know
that's
could be
what you
reached.
really have to listen to. The
Yeah.
second he walks out, it gets even louder to the point where
It's
it's like
deafening.
deafening.
That's because
Yeah.
people
And
didn't.
you can't even hear his music.
I
at
guarantee you,
that
half
point.
people are like, "Oh, it's gonna be MGF." They're anticipating MGF to walk out and troll everybody, and as soon as he walked out, that's when it felt real, right? Everyone all collectively went, "Oh my god, this is real." Now we freak out even more and faint in the crowd, and it was
I'm
just.
sorry.
It
The
was
way you
just
just said that, I
insane.
thought you said this is Riho. I'm like, why?
This is
wait,
Riho. This is
I know
not
I have
CM Punk,
COVID,
it's
but how do we
Riho.
how do we switch?
By God, it's Riho.
And
She's
Jackie,
fooled
what did
us
you think?
all.
Oh my lord. It was a monumental moment. And like Kyle said, you have to get that experience of putting it through your headphones and just really like immersing yourself in the sound, because I can't really imagine what it must have sounded like in person. It's goosebumps upon goosebumps every single time I go back and watch it.
Mhm.
It really was unparalleled, and what a special moment it was. And it also got my vote for
Yeah, they turned the commentators up because the light was so loud they had to turn Excalibur up.
Yeah. hmm
yeah.
It was insanity, pure insanity. Now, speaking of insanity, match of the year. We have Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega at Grand Slam. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, their lights out main event on Dynamite earlier this year. Hangman versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear. Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks at All Out. And Andrade versus Pac on Rampage in
Great
October. And the win. This could have gone so many different ways.
This is the one I fucked up.
match. Yeah.
All right, Ant messed it up.
I got the right graphic.
But-
Don't worry.
We got the right graphic. Everything's going good. This personally was not my choice, but I'm not against it. And of course, the winner is the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks in that steel cage match from All Out. One of the most incredible matches for AEW this year. Jackie, what did you think of this match?
That match had me literally jumping off my couch, running around in circles in my living room, screaming. It was intense as anything. There were so many like intense spots with the bleeding and the thumbtack shoes, and even the moment at the end with Penta hugging his kids and his face is covered in blood. It was just, there was so much emotion. Now, this match didn't get my vote, and I think there may have been a slight bias because I was there for Omega and Danielson live. But for a show or for a match that I wasn't present at live, that just brought out so much emotions in me, and it was a freaking phenomenal tag team.
Now, in my vote, personally, I mean, obviously it didn't make the list. For anybody who's watching back and is like, why don't they have Hangman versus Danielson? That match happened after we made our Excel sheet.
That'll be next year. Voting. So that'll carry over.
No, we're not carrying it over. That's not
fair.
That
carries over.
We said
you carry the one.
We said it was what do we call it? It was a honorable mention to that match.
Okay,
because it was really good, and I compare the Pac and Andrade match on that list to when I first seen Pac and Kenny go at it on that Dynamite. Like that was so effing good, man.
When they just casually had like a 30-minute Iron Man match before pay-per-view.
Yeah, like literally, and it's matches that I'll go back and watch anytime. Like I go back and watch the Pac and Kenny Omega. What was it? They had a 30-minute Iron Man match on Dynamite, like a random Dynamite. It was a Dynamite. Wasn't it not the Dynamite a week or two before Revolution where Hangman and Kenny teamed up and had that epic match with the Bucks? So like Kenny had two insane matches within weeks of each other. Like, oh man, I'll go back and watch that match any day. Freaking the live chat right now is going absolutely
because there's a debate on Disney movies.
Ant's got his band hammer going crazy right now.
Listen, I control who chats. I'm the captain now. If you're gonna slander Frozen, you're gonna get timed out.
Look at him. Okay? Look at him. He's the captain, now.
It's the one thing I control in life. Let me have my fucking moment, okay?
And what do you think about the Lucha Bros versus Bucks winning?
You can't go wrong with that match. I think that was the best tag team match here. I think it was the best match here. I voted for it because there was a finish. I think a lot of times when you have a match like Danielson Omega, people kind of swayed because there was no finish. I was cool with it, but that tag team match, and I guess the moment after too, we talk about a lot where Penta goes over to his wife and kids, and like I live for moments, and that moment was fucking awesome. And I think it was probably the best steel cage match I've ever seen in my life, besides Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior 1990 SummerSlam, right?
Great match.
You guys owe it to yourself that before the end of the year, right? Or actually, January 1st, New Year's, you wake up, you're hungover. If you don't drink, maybe you got a stomach ache, you ate too much, right? You wake up, first thing I want you to do, I want you to sign up to our Patreon, right? Because you get an entire month of rewards, right? $1 gets you in. And the first thing you need to do is go back and listen to our holiday after show. Because
yes.
I have known Ant for what, like 5 years now, 4 years, 5 years, and he has never made me laugh the way he did.
I wasn't even
I'm not
joking.
gonna spoil it, but that's the point. So obviously you guys listen to the show every week, so Ant gives a lot of smart ass answers commonly, right? And he gave the most serious answer, but because I'm used to him, I thought he was being a smart ass, but he was being dead serious, which made me laugh even harder. I watched that clip.
Phil.
It broke me.
It really did.
Annihilated me, right? And you have to sign up to our Patreon so you can see that. It is a must watch. But yeah, it is a must.
Best steel cage match. Besides that, Ultimate Warrior.
Well, yeah, exactly. So now we move on over to the breakout star of the year, and this one was very surprising. We had Jade Cargill, Eddie Kingston, Dante Martin, Ty Conti,
got it wrong 3 times.
Guevara. What?
And Jackie Rodriguez.
Oh, and Jackie Rodriguez a draw. But she yet again, we didn't add her to the list because she would have won. And the winner of breakout star of the year is Dante Martin.
Shocking.
What an absolute shock. Kyle, what do you think about that?
I'm baffled. I'm like, looking at that list, I would have picked 3 people over Dante Martin. Yep. No offense to Dante, but like, bruh, like, I'm gonna pat it in the back here. Jade Cargill, I think, probably should have won over at Dante Martin.
I mean, Jade was great, right? But
Ty Conti, who's got
let's
the
be real.
best win
Let's be
record in
real.
AEW right now,
Yep.
should have won over
45
Dante
wins
Monter.
this year.
most
45
wins in the
this
year.
Yeah.
It's between her and Eddie Kingston, because a lot of people who just started watching, or casual fans, or guys that shifted over for WWE, the guys and girls, they didn't know who Eddie Kingston was. In my eyes, as I run out of breath, Eddie Kingston was the right pick here because he broke out, right? And I know I've watched Eddie Kingston at Shakara. I've watched Eddie Kingston wrestle all over, but man, did he break out and come into his own, that he gets some of the loudest pops. But Dante Martin was great.
Debuting in the COVID
But
era and then
I want to
transferring
be
over
real
to this
about
era.
Jade Cargill, and I love her. She's fucking amazing. And last night was the first time we actually got to see her go.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
They haven't taken anything like, there's been like, all right, 2 minutes. They haven't extended the time. They haven't taken the training wheels off, right? Last night they did. She proved that she's very good. Maybe next year she breaks out, but I mean, now she's already a star. There might not be any breakout for Jade. It's going to be like, okay, it's almost like the Goldberg effect. As much as I hate it, it's like, okay, this is this new unbeatable talent champion.
Listen,
what I
in all
think, yeah.
honesty, I would have voted for Eddie Kingston, bias aside, right? I think that his reaction at Double or Nothing when I was in that building, and just his reaction at every building, to even at the Jacksonville shows during the COVID, he gets the loudest reaction. Everyone, I haven't met one person who doesn't like Eddie Kingston. He really had a year where everybody fell in love with him. And you're thinking about that match against Miro at All Out, where people were like, yo, Eddie Kingston's about to win this. Like I said, I rewatched it last week, and even watching it, I was like, damn, they really fucked with us. Because like there's so many times during that match, you think Eddie Kingston's going to actually win. And even where we are now, currently, now he's heading into a feud with Chris Jericho that we'll talk about later. But it's like he's still on every Dynamite, in on every Rampage, in a promo, doing something. He's really become a huge star. But Jackie, what do you think?
Yeah, I am very surprised also. And I say it every time Dante has a match that we cover on this show. Dante Martin is a star. He is really just doing things at his age that are incredible. But Eddie Kingston was my vote here. And
Yep.
I'm really, really shocked. And I don't know if it's because people are looking at him like because he's been around.
Been
that
around.
Maybe they don't view him as a breakout necessarily. But
I think
yeah,
that's what
just-
hurt him and Ty, because I
Yeah.
think people mistake it for newcomer of the year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's just who really came into their own and found their rhythm and found their place. And
Found their
Eddie
rhythm.
is, Eddie is a beloved
Right, Jackie? Found their
person.
rhythm like this?
Yeah, yes.
Found their rhythm?
Found their Latin rhythm. No, I no
I'm out of breath.
shade to
Me too.
Dante, but yeah, wow, guys, come on, like you barely did anything. Like,
Yo, there's
I
had
give him a break.
COVID.
It's not the COVID there. That
Jackie!
is out of shape.
Your sassiness is not needed right now.
Yeah.
No, but I agree, Jackie. We do need to put some respect on Dante Martin's name. He's so
Yeah.
young. He's so talented. It's not a bad pick. It's a surprising pick. I don't want people to misconstrue it and be like, oh, they don't like. No, Dante Martin's fucking awesome, and we love him, right? And he's amazing. I feel like they rushed a couple storylines with him that they could have played into to make him an even bigger star,
yeah,
but it happens. He wasn't my pick, but he was your pick. And this is for the fans, by the fans. So congratulations, Dante Martin.
Woo!
Absolutely. Now we move on to Tag Team of the Year. And the nominees are FTR, the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, Jurassic Express, and then Santana and Ortiz. And the winner is
Cassius thighs.
FTR. FTR wins. Thank you, everybody, for not making Jackie jump through the computers and start swinging at you people. Shout out to
I'm not
FTR.
even-
We got FTR right
Look
here.
at that picture.
I'm not
Look
even
at
talking.
those thighs.
I'm like, look at him. I'm letting
Look at
Jackie. I'm letting Jackie just talk this whole award through. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Listen, I know that I am probably the most biased person on this panel because I love my boys FTR. But all bias aside, they have been having an incredible year. It's just such a wonderful thing to see all of that untapped potential that they could have really played into in another company, but did not. And to see them really just taking the spotlight. They were featured in 3 main events this year, I believe. And AAA tag team champions, multiple AW tag team title shots.
Mhm.
My guys are freaking killing it. Tag team of the year, as if there was any doubt.
Kyle, any words?
Well said, Jackie Wheeler Yuta. Very, very well said about your boys FTR.
Oh, come on. No Wheeler Yuta.
I mean, I'm just
Jackie
going by what the
Wheeler
chat's
Yuta.
going on right now.
Wrong Wheeler.
Jackie Wheeler Yuta, hashtag Cash Wheeler Styles.
It's really tough to pick a tag team of the year because this company focuses so much.
Jax Harwood.
Jax
Bye.
So I say but it's tough to pick a tag team of the year because this company focuses so much on their tag team division that they make every single tag team look good, regardless if they're winning or losing. So it's so tough to pick a tag team of the year because I think everyone's thriving right now in AW in the tag team division. So good. It's still a good pick.
I wouldn't say everyone's thriving,
except for anyone that's in the Matt Hardy compound.
There's one team that I'm gonna go on a little rant about later.
Okay, we'll definitely get to that.
Can you save that
now
for
we
rant
get
on
to
wrestling, please? I don't want to hear it now.
No, shut up. Get your own solo show, asshole.
Now, moving on over to female wrestler of the year. The nominees are Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Ty Conti, Sheeta, and Ruby Soho. The winner is
Hold up. Picture in picture.
Baker.
Picture
in picture. The winner is picture in picture. But yes, Britt Baker definitely deserving of this.
Landslide.
She definitely had a breakout year at the end of 2020, but we saw the culmination of great character work that she was able to do during the COVID era, even though we're kind of still in COVID. So I guess the no fan era. And now we saw her win the title from Sheeta in a great match to Double or Nothing. Crowd went ballistic. And then we see her have this great year. She's had great matches with Ty Conti, with Chris Statlander, and she's about to have another great match with Riho coming up in a week. So it is going to be an incredible year for Britt Baker in 2022 as well. But Jackie, what do you think of this?
Was my vote, so I'm in complete agreement with this. I know that Britt Baker does get some flack for being, quote, a better character than a worker in the ring. But I just think that Britt has that star power factor where it's just like when she walks out to the ring, all eyes are on her. She is the big deal. She's the main event. And I think Britt Baker is phenomenal. So this I'm in complete agreement with this choice.
What do you think, Ant?
I mean, I voted for Britt Baker simply because the star power. She is the star, and this is someone who her 2020 into 2021 mimics Hangman Page's end of 2021. These two were chosen as the face of AEW back at the press conference. She was the first person signed. She was the first female showed. Britt Baker, that division was built around her. We were all very unhappy when she didn't win the title first, but the build was there. She got it. And as a heel, she's still the most popular female on the roster. Thunder Rosa very close.
Yep.
But
yeah,
I mean, Britt Baker held the title pretty much the whole year. So how are we going to sit here and say, oh, she's not the star? Like, she is the superstar of the year. Yeah, I love Ty Conti, right? Ty Conti's last 3 months match up with Britt Baker. But you got to remember, there's 12 months in a year.
Yep. Kyle, what do you think?
Fair.
I'm going to give it to Britt Baker this year, but I'm just telling you next year, Ty Conti's taking this award because she's going to have a massive 2022 year. I think so.
I think so too. Especially with what we know happened after Dynamite this week. Trust me, every single person who has avoided the spoilers, you all need to watch Rampage this week because we are hearing that street fight between Ty Conti, Anna Jay, Penelope, and Bunny was so unreal. They got a standing ovation at the end of it. So make sure you guys check out Rampage and watch it live. Let's get these ratings up so these idiots on Twitter stop fucking talking about ratings. Now,
get your ratings up.
They'll never stop. They'll never stop.
Now, the final category of the night, Male Wrestler of the Year. The nominees are Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Hangman Adam Page, Miro, and Darby Allin. And the winner is Sting. Fuck. Kenny Omega, the belt collector, wins. It is, of course he wins, right? The dude held like how many belts? 4 belts at once. Had an incredible year. The dude sacrificed his health his body, right? He finally loses all the belts, well, except the AAA belt, which is kind of sad how he lost it. But he finally gets the time to rest, and it's like, oh, your entire body is. It's like the game operation. You just drop it.
Yeah, you're just like pulling shit out.
Yeah, it's just
I mean-
everything is broken.
But listen, Bryan Danielson, that award could have been his just in 3 months, which is fucking insane.
Right.
Because
If you count his run in WWE, I believe that he was the wrestler of the year.
oh yeah, definitely. But even in AEW, when we were making this list and we were like, all right, match of the year, we're like, well, Bryan Danielson, Bryan Danielson. It was like him and Kenny
Yep.
kept being brought up. But
And he's only been
Kenny
here for
Omega.
like 3 months. It's
yeah,
insane.
Bryan Danielson next year is my pick by far. But this
Like-
year it is Kenny Omega. Maybe Adam Cole next year too.
Like
There's so much
Yeah.
untapped potential. Like Punk's gonna be going at it for a full year. I'm excited. I'm really excited for 2022. I think this is one of the deepest wrestling rosters as a mix of new stars and veterans that I've ever seen.
Kyle, what do you think?
like this Danielson that we've gotten in the last 3 months, I'll be the one to say it. I've liked his run and all his matches in the last 3 months than his entire WWE run, sadly. It's been, and I cannot wait for what else we're going to get with Danielson, with the potential that he could walk out next week is not out of the realm of possibility. And I'd love to see what the betting odds for Bryan Danielson next week is to win the title, because there's a part of me that thinks that they might actually kick off the year and kick off TBS with Bryan Danielson as your champion. And I know he said it in an interview before. I don't know if he'd do it in AEW, but he said he's been interviewed in the last month where he's like, I'd like to make a eco belt of the AEW belt.
Oh boy.
So I don't know if he'd
that'd
do
be
that.
fantastic. Yeah.
I'd imagine there'd be something like that, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bryan Danielson easily could have won this award just based off his last 3 months. But Kenny, it's obvious Kenny Omega winning this award because of the year he had. This guy had he was basically the belt collector. We got the cleaner this year, what everyone wanted. He had an incredible year holding that AEW belt, and he did all of it with all the injuries and vertigo he had. He did everything. He carried the company with everything.
My man's the Allen Iverson of wrestling. Now, if you're a sports fan, you know Allen Iverson used to play with like 15, 16 injuries. And when he was out, they had to hide his jersey because the one time they didn't, he put his jersey on and went onto the court. So that is what Kenny Omega is. Kenny Omega is 100% heart. Like, to know he was wrestling with vertigo and still being head and shoulders better than anyone. What does that tell you? I mean, I can't wait till he gets back, because everything they're setting up, like, oh my God.
And he's going to be 100%
And right
healthy.
before we get into this week's Dynamite, I see the chat talking
I love
about
how
it.
Phil didn't ask me about Kenny, but it's okay.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead.
You
Go
enjoy
ahead. No, you're right.
I feel you there.
You're right.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. It's like, we're getting slighted over here.
Go
You know,
ahead.
it's going to a
Everybody
two-man
just
team.
shitted on me in the
It's
chat.
going to a two-man team. It's going to be
All right,
Ant
go
and Phil.
ahead, Jackie.
Oh my God. Kenny Omega to me is just a legend in the sport of pro wrestling. He was having matches of a caliber that nobody else on the roster, except for Danielson in the last quarter, were having. And to think that he was doing all of that with a plethora of injuries, but giving us match of the year's contenders over and over again. Just shout out to Kenny Omega. He has been my favorite solo wrestler here in AEW since day one. So
I never knew that.
that got my vote. You never knew that?
I never knew that Kenny Omega's your favorite.
Yes, Kenny Omega.
I never knew
is
that.
my
And we watch
favorite.
every week together, and I never knew
I
that.
know,
Learn
yeah.
something new every day.
Jackie
It's
is
because I'm
in.
too busy tag teaming it. Like,
Yeah, Jackie is into the technical
Jackie
Yes.
wrestlers. As
I
we can tell.
yes. I mean,
Yep,
I
Jackie really Yuta.
I love a good flippy match, too. But when it comes to people that are technicians and show that strategy in the ring, those are my winners. And to me, Kenny Omega is unmatched in that category.
Now, before we get to Dynamite, as I was saying before, the people in the chat were bringing it up, so we will bring it up. Yes, Ty Conti is back on Twitter, so make sure you tag her, you hit her up, let her know how much she is loved, and let her know that you appreciate that she is back on Twitter. And
Don't be a
grew up
fucking
listening to
weirdo.
Week her.
Don't be a weirdo. And be
Keep
like,
your
"All right,
weird
well,
opinions to
damn it."
yourself.
Don't be a weirdo.
Don't be a weirdo. Just give her nothing but love
Give her hugs.
and great comments, because
She's the
she
best.
has a huge week coming up. Now let's get on to this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. And the first thing that I want to start off with is something that is very special to Kyle, and that is the main event with the Undisputed Era versus the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Kyle, the floor is yours. How did this match make you feel?
Oh, can we just like talk about that? Tony Khan went and bought the Red Dragon theme just for this episode. When I heard that right away, I'm like, oh, here we go, Red Dragon. Jackie's like, I'm not there yet because her feet was behind.
90 seconds behind Kyle.
I heard, as soon as I heard, I'm like, oh, Red Dragon. Didn't even see the Titantron yet. But I was hyped as hell. That was so cool. They did it well. They had the Red Dragon come out, give their entrance. Adam Cole comes out, obviously with his theme. You know what? His theme song fits so well. It's almost like it glues together. These three are so perfect together that it doesn't matter what theme song you play with them. They're gonna make it work. But that boom song that he has, I get a lot of Undisputed vibes with it. And you saw even the beginning of the match when they were chanting Undisputed, the crowd, very, very loud chat. Obviously, it's in Florida where the home NXT was, so there's going to be a lot of NXT homers there. I guarantee it, just to watch these three go at it again. And it was an insane match. It was so good. They gelled so well with the Best Friends. Like I was kind of like I know Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are great wrestlers, but I'm like, I wonder how the chemistry is going to go with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Like I wondered how they're going to mesh together, and it was like they've wrestled for like the last 8 months together.
Well, did you see the crazy stat that was going around on Twitter that this was the first time that Kyle O'Reilly and Chuck Taylor were in the ring together?
Really?
Yep, in their whole careers, even though they
Wow.
wrestled for a lot of the same companies together, this time Kyle O'Reilly and Chuck Taylor wrestled.
That's insane.
Wow.
They did so good. And then look at the end. They again, they're doing this well. I've been wondering how they're gonna kind of slowly build this story and slowly do it, because they can't do it right away. We can't get the rush of the split right away because we know where this is gonna end up. Because Kenny Omega's still healing, so they're gonna have to bide time and do these little bits here and there to try to keep us waiting, basically. And now look, Kyle O'Reilly accidentally kicks Adam Cole, and Adam Cole's like second guessing. The Bucks conveniently come out after that incident happens, and I'm like, okay.
Well, the cool thing is, even with all that, giving them their own Titantron, giving them their own graphics and their own like the music, right? They can easily just be Red Dragon, right? They don't have to be with Adam Cole in order for them to be successful in this company. That's where I think it's going to be very interesting in the next year. I think the big story going into next year, now that the Hangman Kenny is on hold right now, because we got to one part of it. I'm sure the story is going to continue over the years. But I think that the biggest story of 2022 is going to be, who does Adam Cole side with? The Super Clique or his boys in the Undisputed Era? But Jackie, what did you think of this week's main event?
I thought it was really, really good. And one thing that, I know that the hype is all around Red Dragon and Kyle O'Reilly making his debut. But I have to say, personally, I think this is the best, no pun intended, that the Best Friends have looked in a long time. Orange Cassidy coming right out the gate, super aggressive, and like, I don't have time to be lazy and all that shit. He's like chucking his sunglasses and, just getting in that rage mode. But I think that the chemistry that both teams had with each other was really solid. There were a lot of great high spots. And then there was the Kyle O'Reilly kick to the face. And I just think that AEW just has a knack for this storytelling and just all the nuance and detail. And I am really always just intrigued to see where they're taking the story next. And, I know that people were throwing the funny custody of Adam Cole.
Oh my God! Yeah, they took the custody
graphic.
of Dominic graphic from SummerSlam and put custody of Adam
The
Cole.
ladder match.
Listen, we keep saying that. Let's be honest. They'll make a T-shirt.
That, or they're gonna make the match. They're gonna do the match.
Yeah.
But no, but I enjoyed the main event, so I thought it was really good.
That might be the
Any
Revolution
final thoughts,
match.
Ant? It might be the Revolution.
I love the callbacks that they do with and first off, doesn't Adam Cole not know who killed him, who murdered him? He has no clue. So in the BTA,
we're supposed to think he doesn't, but I mean,
but in BTA, right? Like in that universe, which connects a lot. But I would say the best part is like when Kenny was leaving and he was talking to the Bucks, and Adam's like, "Chill, cleaner, I got this," and he's like, "I wasn't talking to you."
Yeah.
And last night the Bucks were getting into it. He's like, "Chill, Bucks, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adam Cole's plan was to dissolve the Elite from the inside because he knows the past about them kicking him out, them kicking him to the curb when he left for the other company.
Well, it
And
was
I think
Kenny
that's
that
going to
did
play
it.
into it. And I think you're going to get the 3-on-3 match, which is going to be match of the year. Guaranteed. I don't care what anyone says. That match is going to be fucking match of the year. And then eventually you're going to get Kenny versus Adam 1-on-1. And I think that could carry on for a better half of a year and nobody will be tired of it. And I think it's just beautiful storytelling how they plant those little seeds all the time. The Bucks, they can get a lot of heat for their flippy stuff or whatever. The Bucks are the best at little tiny details. No one does it better.
No.
They are.
Yep. Leaving little Easter eggs for us to find. And I want to give a shout out to KL in the chat reminding us a huge thing that happened this week on Dynamite was that, yes, Jim Ross is back. He's officially cancer-free, and he was on the commentary booth. And I love that AEW started off Dynamite with giving him his entrance. If you guys have ever been to a live show, you understand that about 5 minutes or so before the show goes live on TV, they bring all the announcers out and they get their entrance always. So it's really cool that the show started with a Jim Ross entrance and he got to have a standing ovation. And then later on in the show, and we can actually transition over to that, CM Punk cuts a promo in the ring, his first time ever in Daly's place, and he takes a second to acknowledge JR and shout him out, which to me is one of my favorite things that AEW continues to do every single week is kind of honor what's going on, right? This isn't like their own little world that lives separate from the real world. We've said it here a million times. So yes, if you are a fan of AEW, means you're following everybody on social media, which means you understand what's going on with JR without even them saying it on TV. So I think it was pretty great and pretty awesome of Punk to acknowledge it so we can all acknowledge it, give him our standing ovation together, and that was really special. But Ant, you're the CM Punk guy. How was it seeing CM Punk in Jacksonville for the first time and kind of teasing that maybe him and but he has his sights set on that AEW world title?
It was really, really cool. I also loved, again, that they live in actual reality, and he did the shout out to Brody. The only thing I didn't like is that idiot who tweeted the bullshit about Brody got attention that he probably won't ever deserve in his life because he's a piece of shit. If you know who I'm talking about, tell him to see me. But personally, I love that Punk. That's a big reason Punk came back was the Brody Lee tribute show. He says it all the time. He saw how they honored this guy's legacy and how close knit and how nobody knew that Brody was sick. And that is the reason why Punk decided AEW was the right place. So for him to call back to that, I felt was super important. And I think it gets glanced over because he does turn his attention to MJF. But if you listen to the promo, he tells you where it's going next. He's going to cost MJF his shot at the title. He's going to cost him the shot, probably the ladder match. He's going to cost him, and then you're going to get that match of Punk MJF. So we have to wait a little bit longer for MJF to get that title shot, but we're going to get Punk and MJF down the road.
So he's going to cost Wardlow because Wardlow's in that match at Revolution.
I don't
because MJF told Wardlow, once you win, that shot's mine. By the way, like you're giving it to me.
I think he meant the TNT title. Then he said, and I'm also turning my attention to the title.
Yeah.
So he was talking, Wardlow was for the TNT title.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Because if you remember when the Pinnacle formed, which is something I just came to
the Revolution match, but didn't Wardlow say he's going to be in that Revolution ladder match, which is for the world title?
I thought it was for the TNT title.
I thought it was for the brass ring.
Well, didn't Scorpio redeem
the face of the Revolution?
Title? Yeah, face of the Revolution.
Yeah, he won the giant Sonic ring.
Well, the thing that I was saying is, so when they formed Pinnacle, MJF made it a point to say Shawn Spears and Wardlow are going after the TNT title. So I believe that it's for the TNT. Because MJF, like I said, he also said, and the world title afterwards. He's like, I'm going to be a double champion.
That's a TNT shot, everyone's saying.
Oh.
Okay.
No, yeah. But Kyle, what did you think of the promo and everything that could be following after?
I love how AEW doesn't make their fans feel like idiots and don't treat us like idiots because we know real life stuff and they let their wrestlers bring that stuff up in the ring. And just seeing CM Punk, even when he was mentioning, he was like, I don't know, I've never been here before. Where does JR sit? Where the commentary desk was, which is great. But he got a really nice ovation too. I'm excited for what how this is going to transition into Revolution. So we kind of brought this up a couple of weeks ago on the podcast when we thought that these two were going to go wide. It kind of seems now like we might not even get this at Revolution. This might even happen at Revolution. This might be pushed even farther. Like this might be a long build.
Possibly.
But that's the thing. Do you build it that long? Because now Double or Nothing isn't really that around the corner. It's not till June. So do they push it that far? Or do they do something from now until Revolution that gets us to that point? And at Revolution, it's Punk and MJF, and that's a big highlighted match for the card. So,
well, if it's supposed to be their WrestleMania, as Tony Khan has said,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
my
he said at
gosh.
the first Revolution, no one's given up like making fun of him
No.
for that.
His
No.
second, the
No.
second Revolution.
Was it the
Yeah.
second? I thought it was the first. He said that.
Well, he
Okay.
said it about the first, and then he said it leading into this year's Revolution when, because people were like, "Why are you putting the exploding barbed wire death match at Revolution?" He was like, "Well, this is our WrestleMania because the 2020's Revolution had that crazy tag match and had pop."
Mhm.
I think all the
Cassidy
fans know that All Out is the WrestleMania for
All Out.
Yeah,
AEW.
Of
that
course,
was.
yeah.
We're not
Without
planning a Revolution trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
ain't going to Orlando, especially right now.
I mean, I want to go to Orlando. Let's not shit on Orlando. I
But
want to
I'm-
hang out
Yeah.
with Jamie.
I'm
Oh,
not shitting
wait.
on Jamie and Orlando. I'm talking about the situation of COVID since
Yes,
there's people
yes,
on the
we know.
panel here that have COVID, and I don't want to go to the state where it's like, it doesn't exist.
Yo, we
Shout out
survived
to
it once,
Jamie,
bro.
by the
We
way.
survived it again.
I was just gonna say, while we're on this Punk segment, I don't really have anything further to contribute other than our girl, Miss Jamie Strange, was front and center with
Oh,
that
yeah.
Elite POV sign the whole Punk segment. I'm glad her arms didn't get tired. She should have had Taylor hold it up or something like that because he's like 800.
Nah,
feet
Taylor
tall.
would have been. Listen, the one thing that I'm gonna say, Taylor is so fucking tall. I can always find them immediately because you see like
It just looked
the
like he was
average
standing.
height of people. But no, but that's the thing. When everyone was standing, especially during like the Punk promo, when everyone was here and he was like here, so it was like, oh, where's Jamie again? It's like find the. She's right there next to him, and then she's holding the sign. Oh, it was great.
Yeah. No, but that was such a cool image. I think we snapped a bunch of like screenshots and
Mhm.
stuff like that of it. Shout out to our girl Jamie for all that marketing she did last night because we were getting tagged left and right. Like I see
Yep.
an Elite POV sign in
Mhm.
the crowd, so that was really awesome.
And shout out to the wrestlers who pointed at it, the sign, right? Ty Conti pointed
Hi,
at the
Conti,
sign,
yeah.
which is hype, right? And she pointed at it during the dark tapings that happened the night before that Jamie and Taylor were also at. So
Wait, she
shout out
pointed to the Elite POV sign?
yes.
When did we find
Hey.
this out?
Yeah, I didn't hear about
Jamie,
this till
Jamie
now.
said it last night.
I was dead
Our
last
group
night.
chat.
Yeah.
I half pay attention to our group chat. Gonna
Yeah,
go-
well,
small
so
confession
Jamie
here.
held up the
Yes,
sign
no surprise.
because she was sitting by the ramp, and Ty Conti on the dark tapings on Tuesday, she pointed at it and waved when she was walking out.
Oh, that's so
Oh, that's
cool.
amazing.
That is absolutely incredible.
Maybe
It
she
makes me
thinks-
so happy.
Can you imagine you thought Taylor was on the show?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right, exactly.
Oh, they got a
Um,
tall guy in that podcast.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I want to talk about from last night's show is a big moment because it was Ant versus Jackie, who was going on to face my
Great
pick
match.
in the finals of the TBS title tournament. And that is, of course, Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa. And Ant, before I go to you, I just want to say some things. One, absolutely incredible match. I think it was booked perfectly. I think that they did a great job at really putting Jade through everything that she could possibly be facing when she takes that next step into a main eventer. Thunder Rosa controlled the match. Of course, Thunder Rosa has a wrestling school in Mission Pro Wrestling. So you get the best matches out of younger talent like a Jade, who have only been training for years, when they're facing Thunder Rosa. This was incredible.
Rosa.
Thunder Rosa with the
Shout out to
incredible
that. That was amazing.
Oh,
23
so
gear.
good.
And I just want to shout out, and he told me not to say his name, so I'm not going to say his name. But I know Jade Cargill is Storm, but that gear was definitely Omega Red inspired. You know who you are. He told me not to shout you out. But the match was incredible. And before we get to
Rob.
Ann about the match, I just want to talk about Mercedes Martinez debuting to help Jade Cargill win. That was an incredible moment for somebody who's loved Mercedes Martinez for a lot of years, really wanted her to get a push when she was in NXT. So it's really, really cool to see that she's here. And not only is she here, but immediately Tony Khan tweeted that graphic, so you know it's
Was it
real.
back here? Was she
Yes.
not here like half a year
She
ago?
was here, and then
Okay.
she went to
for,
NXT.
for like a cup of coffee. She was
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
She was in like a battle royal and stuff like that. But Ant, I took enough time. Talk to us about your girl getting a big win last night.
First off, I'm the biggest Jade Cargill fan probably around, me and brother Rob, right? And I said, let's just see how she does in a match with extended time, right? You got to see her endurance, her stamina. You have to see those kind of things. First off, Thunder Rosa is legit the best opponent you could have gave Jade for her first match over 3 minutes, because Thunder Rosa is unbelievable. The next champion, in my opinion. That's why I think Jade is going to be the TNT, or the TBS champion. But man, I was just shocked with Jade, right? I was shocked because she went into the arsenal, but I was more impressed with the selling of the leg. Like, something that small is something we haven't had to see her do yet, is sell. And she would hit a big move and she would sell. Or she would hit,
She
or like
missed it a couple times, which
Yeah.
you can't blame her, right? She's still learning, but she did.
But-
Like, I know a lot of people online were talking about the hip up that she hit it full force and then like waited and was like, oh yeah, and then so
Yeah, well,
you get it.
she's a freak fucking athlete, right? She's Storm. She can heal herself, whatever. But she was so good. I mean, that was so good. Thunder Rose is amazing. But I just think that now we see that Jade can go with the right opponents. I think Jade's gonna win. And I do agree that pump kick should be Jade's finisher, because by God, I thought she fucking buried Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a great sell
yeah.
by Thunder Rosa too. She went like all the way back and stayed flat with her legs up. That was perfectly done. Perfectly done. And shout out to Mercedes Martinez, who came out in Retribution gear. Just
Yeah,
gonna
the
point that
Retribution.
out.
Mm.
Did she really?
Yeah.
She basically was dressed like someone from
Yeah,
Retribution.
remember when they were all like in black throwing cocktails at an open door
Oh,
when they
that-
rushed that whole thing?
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
when
but I will-
everybody said, wait, it'll
I
work
did
out.
feel bad for Mercedes Martinez because I knew who she was and I was hyped, but she didn't get the reaction I
No.
think that I wanted her to.
'Cause people wanted
because
to be Brit.
I don't think, because people thought it was going to be someone else, right? But
Brit or
Mercedes
hater.
Martinez,
Yeah.
but I thought it was hater to start, but Mercedes is going to be an ass kicker, and her and Jade together, fucking
Oof.
forget about it.
Oh, it's
Who's
gonna be-
taking them? But Thunder Rosa says she needs friends, so that's going to be the next thing.
Yeah, and Jackie, what do you think? I know Thunder Rosa is your girl, right? I'm a big fan of her as well. What did you think? And what did you think?
Yeah.
Having to lose to Ant, that's the worst part of this whole thing, right?
I was so sick I didn't even rub it in.
Yeah.
No. That part of it I'll get over quick. No, it's of course it's always heartbreaking to take a loss because Thunder Rosa was my pick to go all the way. But the match was really, really solid. Now I know that again there are some critiques floating around on the lovely animal we refer to as social media in regards to
No.
feeling like I know, right?
Stop.
Shocking. Jade being very green and not being ready. And I have accused Jade in the past of not really being ready for a type of moment like this. But in my opinion, she really showed out yesterday. And you can't fault her if there's a miscommunication or she didn't quite land something exactly the way that she should have. She's still learning, but she displayed some killer strength. She looked like a monster. Like you guys said, she sold well, which is something she hasn't had to do. And that's an attention to detail there that she's picking up and she's learning. I think the storytelling here is well done. We thought it was going to be Jamie Hayter in the hood, coming out and attacking. That's
Oh, I
literally
thought
what
for
I thought up until the second, the hood was pulled back. And I am so fucking excited to have Mercedes Martinez here in AEW. She's somebody that has put in the work as a vet, on the indies for so many years. When she first appeared in AEW, I wanted her to stick around. She went elsewhere, but I really think that she can be an asset to this division, and I want to see her get the spotlight that she's worked for years and really deserves.
Yeah, she's like a 20-year vet. That's what people don't,
People like,
if not more, right? She's like a 20-year vet, and she has had some absolutely incredible matches. And I know people don't like this person, but she had an absolutely incredible match. She wrestled an hour and a half, a 90-minute Iron Woman match against Tessa Blanchard and Beyond Wrestling, and it was
so good,
absolutely
so good,
mind blowing that these women did 90 minutes. People were talking about, oh, we want the women to have more time. 90 minutes, just imagine that, and that's Mercedes Martinez doing it with over 20 years of experience. So she is going to take this division by storm. There's already rumors online that they may be reforming La Sicaria, which is a group of all Hispanic wrestlers. So let's see, because Diamante is in it and Mercedes Martinez is in it. Maybe they add Diamante to this Jade Cargill and Mercedes thing. I mean, we're going to see there's just a lot of stuff going on in the tons and tons of women's storylines going on right now. And it is a great time to be in this company. So,
Damn,
I agree.
Kyle, did you give your thoughts on that? I don't remember.
It's
On the
basically
match alone.
what Dosu just said. I don't know if I can add anything more to it. I was with Jackie there. I thought it was Jamie Hayter for sure, because just the way the makeup looked with the head covering and the hair, I'm like, oh, that's for sure Hayter. They're continuing that, but I'm wondering where they go from here, because I thought for sure that it would be someone from Britt's team, or at least Britt, that would transition Thunder Rosa into Britt Baker, but I guess maybe they're doing something else, maybe for Revolution.
I guess
with
we got to
Britt
wait
Baker.
till she
Yeah.
beats Riho. I think they want to make it more believable, like
Yeah,
that
I guess
Riho's
so.
a threat to her.
And maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe the winner of the Sheeta, because Sheeta and
Serena.
are
Serena.
still
Oh
going
my
at
god,
it.
that's gonna be
I don't know
so
if
good.
that's going to
again.
be a number one contender eventually,
Mhm.
and that's going to be Britt's next test, because those two are just absolutely killing it right now
They're-
with every match they have, and I think that probably warrants them at least a title shot after their feud's done. So we'll see what happens.
Well, just alone on last night's show, right? We saw Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill, but now Mercedes Martinez, that feud, right?
Mhm.
And now we also saw a very small video package, but one nonetheless, between Layla Hirsch and Chris Statlander,
Yep.
talking about
That's
their
another
match
feud.
they had on Rampage. We also saw a video package from Sheeta and Serena saying this will never be over. And we saw a package between Britt Baker and Riho. And then we saw that tag team package hyping up the match on Rampage this week with that tag team street fight. So, like I said, I know that a big complaint going through the COVID era was that the women weren't getting enough storylines and the women weren't getting enough time on TV. Obviously, everyone here would like to see a second match for the women on Dynamite. Maybe get rid
Yeah.
of the match that we opened the show with. Not saying it was great, but that's a spot you could have added another women's match, because that match, I mean, it's leading to a match next week, but I would have liked to see a second women's match on the show, even if it was a short one.
Yeah.
But it's just, we're looking at, it's going to be a huge year for
Yeah,
in
because
2022.
that opening match, the real big thing that came out of that was the promo afterwards. Nothing really
Yeah.
happened in
Yeah.
the match that
It
I
was
really
like
cared
only
about.
to set that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because like FTR wins the match, but Jurassic Express gets the title shot next week.
Yeah. So it's
So it's
weird.
like it's a weird thing, because technically the Lucha Bros also lost because they were on this. But I don't know. Next week that match is going to be an absolute barn burner, and it's going to be great. But like you said, we could have just showed the promo
They
backstage.
should
We
just
didn't have
opened
to
up
have
with
the-
Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill. That would have got the crowd going.
Yeah. Start with the debut. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been really, really cool. So now, Ant, this is where I'm going to give you your platform to vent. So Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz versus Daniel Garcia in 2.0. We can all agree the match was great. The match was a lot of fun. What I want to kind of focus on is the aftermath. Of course, you saw Daniel Garcia in 2.0 attacking Santana and Ortiz and beating everybody up. And it took Chris Jericho way too long to come out.
Way too
And
long.
I know you said earlier you wanted to talk about this. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm not even going to talk about Jericho because I'm so like meh about Jericho. He's one of my favorite of all time. But by God, can we fucking do something with PMP? Like Ortiz and Santana, in my opinion, are a top 3 tag team in the fucking world. We know their fire matches exist with the Lucha Bros. We know they could be fire with FTR given the chance. Both times were the one was definitely cut short because of the injury. We know that Jurassic Express and them could tear it up. Give them a fucking opportunity. I'm tired of seeing them wrestle on dark and tag team matches. Put them on the main show. Santana and Ortiz have worked so hard on their bodies. They look like superstars. They have a great theme. They have a great look. They have a great gimmick. Get them out. Get Sammy out. Get them all out of the inner circle. Let fucking Jericho and Jake Hager do whatever they need to do, right? Just over there. Can we please give PMP some love, man? Like, I feel like you're going to lose one of the greatest tag teams in the world because you're not giving them the opportunity. And it's not saying that they don't have great tag team wrestling anyway. But, man, like, to me, I like 2.0. But if I'm AEW, I'm highlighting PMP instead of 2.0. And I know it's all to get Eddie versus Jericho, but stop making them the stepping stones for a feud and start making them the feud.
So
That's all I
here's
want.
my thing.
I don't
Here's
complain
my-
about AEW either. I love them. I love AEW. But
Here's
damn,
my
like,
counter argument to that. Obviously, I also love Santana and Ortiz. We all love them here, right? My thing is, and I think that I hope that a lot of the tweets that Santana is making is in character and they're building to something, because when it comes to a company like AEW, it's really all about TV time because there's so much going on. And when it comes to the titles, they don't change hands as often. So not everyone's going to get a fair chance at this, right? Even you think of someone like the Best Friends, who have done so many great things since AEW has started, but because of injury, they had to keep falling back. Same thing with the Dark Order. Same thing with a lot of these people. And they're also bringing in like ReDRagon's here now. 2.0 is here now. And, you know, who knows? There might be another tag team coming if Brody King is actually signed and him and Malachi enter the division. You think of the great stuff that Varsity Blondes have done.
can I counter that, though? Because
Wait,
your
hold on.
argument is there's some with injuries. Well, shouldn't that push PMP
No,
up
but I'm
if
saying,
people
what
are
I'm
falling
saying
down?
is that absolutely Sammy deserves a singles run. He's got one. Hopefully we're continuing this, right? After him losing the belt to Cody, which we didn't talk about. But Inner Circle had huge moments this year. They had War Games. They were the main event of Double Nothing. Like, they had some unbelievable moments. PMP, Santana Ortiz had a great feud with FTR this year. They've done some great things, and I understand, of course, everybody wants to be champion. You want to be highlighted as one of the best in the company. You want to be like a company ambassador. I understand it. But let's give it a couple of months to see if now that the Inner Circle seems to be going their separate ways, not breaking up, because Lord knows I don't need another fucking reunion promo in the ring. Shout out to Carrie, because I know that popped her.
The reunion that they never broke up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really.
But like, let's see if this is a storyline that gets them away from Jericho. Let's give it some time. I understand we all want to see PMP win the title. Personally, if I could be selfish, if I'm booking it, this is how I'm booking it. The Lucha Bros lose those titles to
Jurassic Express.
who would I have them lose it to? I forgot. I think the Lucha Bros lose those titles to Santana and Ortiz. Santana and Ortiz have an incredible run up until, I guess, Double or Nothing, because that's in June, maybe even in July. They lose to FTR. FTR loses those belts at Full Gear to Best Friends. That's how I would do it. That's how you kind of showcase your full tag division, because in my opinion, the money match for FTR next year, because fans are back, is FTR versus the Young Bucks at All Out with a full building of fans. So I would love to see that for the tag team titles. FTR wins this time.
I think the Bucks and Omega will be the ones turning face in this whole
exactly.
thing.
But that's why I think with Santana Ortiz, let's. I know it's hard in wrestling, and I'm guilty of this too. We got to be a little patient with them.
I'm not putting it on the Best Friends before Jurassic Express. I'm sorry.
But they might get the trios title. Just saying. Mm-hmm.
People are saying they can't hear you.
You're muted, Kyle.
You're muted, Kyle.
Hello?
Kyle,
How about,
so
how
while
about now,
Kyle
guys?
figures
Hang
this
on.
out.
How about now, guys? Is it better? Hello?
Let's wait a couple seconds.
And we're live, pal.
And we're
Yeah,
live.
we're live,
Yeah,
pal.
we're good. Okay, so
Okay, we're good.
I was just basically saying what Phil said at the end there. Trios title is the way to go. because I think that just helps with there's so many tag teams in this division, so many great tag teams that you need something for them to do in the meantime if they're not exactly going for the tag team belts right now, because something in the meantime for them to do if PMP aren't going for the tag team belts right now, a Sammy and PMP could be going for the trios belts.
But I think Jurassic Express should go for the trios title because they've always been a trio. Obviously, people in the chat were talking about maybe Christian Cage turns on them because he's kind of really pushing the we thing. I saw chat say that earlier. Maybe when Marco gets back from The Voice, they do a trios thing with them. I think that'd be really cool. But Jackie, what do you think about this match and also the stuff afterwards with Kingston and Jericho and PMP going towards the future?
Yeah, the match served its purpose, which was, I feel like this has been a theme of the night where the match is just leading to, the aftermath, which is going to further the next story as we're going into the new year. It should be interesting to see what Kingston and Jericho do with this feud that looks like it's ready to kick off. I'm all here for Kingston, ripping into Jericho, and they make it look like they have real heat. Great. I will say, and I know that this is the topic right now. Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz have been there since the debut episode of AEW Dynamite.
I was there.
I don't think that it's necessarily that I need to see the titles on them as much as I would love to see the titles on them. I think it's so much more than just that. It's them having the chance to be featured primarily as a tag team, not as a subset of a faction, but given their chance to really come into their own and step into that spotlight, because we all know that a championship doesn't make a tag team, doesn't make a competitor. It's not necessarily the be all end all, but it's making them feel relevant and making them feel like a bigger part of the story as a tag team. So that's what I want to see for Proud and Powerful. Yes, I want the gold on them, eventually, but I want it done right. I want them to have a chance to kind of redeem this, this lost in the mix phase that they've been in. They're just they're excellent. Those matches, and I know like this is gonna sound biased for me again, but it's like those matches with FTR and the promos that came out of it, everything showed that they have what it takes to be a top tag team in that company.
Let's not forget their feud with Best Friends and the promos that they did and the street fight that led to Best Friends. Like PNP can go with multiple teams. So yeah, everything you guys are saying, right? Let's give them the moment, but let's also as fans a little patient.
Patience is a virtue.
It's hard. I know it's hard. Trust me.
It's extremely hard because people are not used to that because other companies is like rush. Pay-per-views every 3 weeks. Rush. Not here.
Change the titles and somebody wins the belt for the first time in a long time and off if put on someone else. But it's like, and listen, it took me a year or two to really get used to that in AEW of like the title wins mean something here and
it means
besides really like the TNT title, right? The TNT title, their reign seemed to be a lot shorter because they're defending it almost every week on Dynamite or Dynamite and Rampage and stuff like that because it's a TV title.
They still make it like big.
Yeah,
like it's also furthers their career.
Tag teams,
like if they leave the company for whatever reason, they have that acclaim that they are a champion in AEW and they don't switch those belts that often. So if you can go and leave and go to like a New Japan or another company, or if you wanted to go to WWE, you have that thing on you that you are an AEW champion, and that's not a thing that a lot of people can say because they know how to treat their titles the right way.
Now, something that I want to transition to that got a lot of, I'm trying to think of the word. It was very divisive on Twitter.
Whoa.
Is that promo segment between Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, where Brandy ends up coming out. We don't have to talk a lot about this, but I definitely want to bring it up because I personally love the promo. I thought it was great. I thought that it's pretty funny, and I saw it on Twitter. They're basically trying to like out heel each other because like they're technically both heels, right? And it's like, oh, who can pop the crowd more with like taking shots, right? I love the line that Brandy ended with. I know some people didn't. I mean, that's their opinions. I think people are unfairly too harsh on Brandy. I think similar to Cody, no matter what Cody and Brandy do, they're gonna boo them. Brandy can save a baby from a fucking burning building, and they'll find some way to like shit on her and say it was her fault or whatever. Stop taking wrestling too serious. I thought it was a great promo. I'm really excited for it. Sets up the potential. I know people were talking about this too. Of maybe you add, you do Cody, Dustin, and Brandy versus Men of the Year and Paige Van Sant. Like we saw with the Shaq match. Maybe we get that thrown in there. I think it'd be pretty cool. I like the Dan Lambert stuff. I know it's not for everybody, but Ant, I'm gonna go with you first. What do you think of this segment?
It was forgettable, to say the least.
He mentioned Jim Cornette. That's when he lost me. So when he mentioned,
don't
use that guy's name
again. It's just like, all right, now maybe we're getting somewhere with Lambert being with these guys to get them title shots and make it make sense, right? So there's a payoff. Brandy doesn't play angry very well. She kind of smirks and smiles through it all. But overall, it was a fun segment. The crowd was engaged. Was the crowd making noise? Yes. Did I love it? No. Was it okay? Yes. Was it good enough for TV?
I feel like
yes.
I'm the only one who loved it. Like I loved it every second of it.
I like the back and forth.
Oh,
I like when the crowd gets into it. That's what I like. When the crowd cares, I care. And they cared, and it was fun. And it accomplished what it had to accomplish, and now we move on.
And before I go to you, Jackie, so I don't like to say this type of thing on Twitter because I did once before and I got attacked for it. So I like to use my wife. Yeah, no, not that. I like to use my wife as a perfect example because she does not care about wrestling, but she cares about me. So sometimes she'll sit there and she'll watch it with me. Now she's sitting there and she watched Roads to the Top with me because she loves like that type of reality show behind the scenes stuff. So she knows who these people are, right? She understands. So she's on her computer, and when Brandy delivered that line, she popped, and she was like, "Oh shit!" And like she got like super excited about it. So, like, I understand AEW focuses on the more of the diehard fans, but I feel like the stuff that Cody and Brandy do also really weighs heavily on casual fans. Because if you're flipping through the channels and you see that line, it's gonna make you stay and be like, "Oh, what the hell is going over here?" Like they're going hard at each other. Like Dan Lambert threatened to physically fight Brandy Rhodes. Like, what is going on? So I don't know. I might be the only one who loved it, but Jackie, what did you think?
I'm so sorry you even came to me on this one.
Oh.
Dan Lambert, there is not a sum of money you can pay me to give a single solitary shit about anything
he's doing his job
that he is doing.
He's doing his job.
No,
Yep.
It really isn't, because it's not about like, oh, I'm angry at him. It's just like, why? Like it's never appealed to me. And I say this, and I've said this before in regards to this particular storyline with him. I know that not everything this company does is marketed towards me as a viewer. There are going to be things that I like, and there are going to be things that I don't like, but they have to appeal to a certain demographic across the board. This is just not for me.
So what did he say that you didn't like? I'm curious.
Oh my God, we could be here for.
I want to know, because I've heard other wrestlers say almost the same lines, and everyone said they loved it.
No, see, but I don't. There are a lot of things in terms of why you have to start bringing sex work into, like as an insult, and why you have to call somebody a stripper. Why do you have to call somebody like whatever as derogatory? As a woman, these promos hit a little bit different for me. And I just think that there are certain ways that you can get heat without being misogynistic, or without playing those certain cards. This is why it's constantly a miss for me. There were things even that Jericho said in regards to Paige Van Sant in earlier promos that were a big miss for me for that reason. There are ways to get.
It's just the old school thinking of like, let's call her a hoe.
Let's call her a whore. Like,
But don't you think? And everything you're saying is 100% valid, right? I'm not saying it isn't, but don't you think that Dan Lambert's entire character is supposed to be Jim Cornette? Yeah. And Jim Cornette hates AEW, and AEW fans hate Jim Cornette. So like, it's kind of like the perfect heel here.
It is in a way,
because that is shit that Cornette says.
Or else all the heels, all heels will start sounding the same though. All heels will start sounding the same eventually if they all stick to the same script.
No. I just think that there are certain topics that in 2021 going into 2022, you don't have to use for cheap heat.
Mhm.
There's just creative ways. There are people that are cutting heel promos that are excellent, to this day, where they don't have to bring certain subject matter into it. Again, this is my opinion,
Mhm.
and for me, like, I see it differently as a woman, maybe, but it's such a miss for me. I think that he could do so much better without going that low. Even MJF to a certain point doesn't go as low as Lambert does.
He talks about dead people. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I mean, they both go pretty low. It's just
Yeah.
MJF has different tactics than
MJF
he.
hasn't attacked
Yeah.
women on
No,
that
he
level,
doesn't.
that's
He
for sure.
doesn't. He doesn't take the low hanging fruit. That's the easy way out of like, oh, you're a hoe. It's like, okay, like that's very
Yeah.
easy.
No,
It's a very
valid
easy
point.
thing to
Yeah.
say.
But see,
But
that's why
I do
we
get what
love
you're
that
saying,
on the
Phil.
show, Jackie. I do. This is why you're on the show. This is why we like to have the here and this support shows like Top Girl Talk that you and Jamie do, Patreon, because it's very important. Because like I didn't think about it like that. Because to me, I'm only focusing on the last line that was said because on my feed, that's what everybody was talking about was
Right.
Brandy's last line. But you do make some valid points. Like it's kind of like it's
But-
2021 about to be 2022. Like we're still making sex worker jokes, stripper jokes.
But
being
you
a hoe
did make a
jokes,
good
like,
point about the Cornette thing that I never thought of. Like that is stuff that Jim Cornette says,
Yeah.
and AW fans hate Jim Cornette. So that's again, no, it's low hanging. It's kind of the easy way to get him
Yeah.
booed.
But
When
see,
really,
that's why I
At this
understand
point, he's already had enough heat that he every time he picks up the mic, no one's listening anyway.
that.
Yeah.
They're booing him,
Yeah.
so he doesn't even
Yeah.
have to go there.
Kyle, any final thoughts before we move on?
I popped hard when she's like, I'm that. When she said her line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy, I was like, oh, okay. I was into it. I'm with you in that boat, Phil. That I was, that promo got me hyped. I'd like to, wrap it up with these guys. I'm not really seeing where exactly this is going. I don't know if it's like I need a direction for Ethan Page and
Yes, exactly.
and Scorpio Sky, because those two are just extremely talented to just be standing
But what if
there.
this ends with Scorpio Sky winning the title? I
Then-
think it's just weird because they're both heels.
But there's no. I think we need a little bit. Give us something then, Tony Khan, that
No.
is gonna see us getting to that direction. Because right now it just looks like they're just two background guys. They look like Private Party in the Family Hardy compound. They're just there, hanging in the background, not doing much.
That's the brainwash, though, Phil. You said they're both heels. No, Cody Rhodes is not a heel.
Look at
So
his
they're
shirt.
gonna-
He's not a heel. He's a. What did it say? He's a
They're
champion.
gonna
He's the
try to
winner.
get him cheered, right? Which
That's a great shirt, by the way.
again, they're gonna play into the smartness of their fans. They know he's still gonna get booed. Both guys will get booed, right? But they're gonna try to get him cheered like they used to do with Cena's. They build up this big bad villain for Cena to beat, and he would still get booed. That's exactly what Cody Rhodes is doing. It's like, all right, you hate Dan Lambert the most out of anyone. Let me feud with one of his guys, and Cody's still gonna get booed. And I think that's the hilarity of it, is that people are like, oh, look at Cody. He's trying to be the hero again. Well, no, he's really just playing a heel character that you guys haven't figured out yet, because on TV, he's a face. He's the ultra good guy.
Mhm. Which is the biggest villain in front of a crowd
Exactly.
like
In wrestling.
AEW. But yeah, so now as we come to the end of the show, let's preview what's to come, and we'll mention another segment that happened tonight. So on next week's Dynamite, we have that great match. Of course, if you are going to next week's Dynamite, I might not be there. We're still up in the air depending on what this results is. I know Jackie's sad about it. We're crossing our fingers. Hopefully, I will be there. But if I am there, regardless, I will be wearing a mask the whole
Yeah,
time.
if you're going there, please be safe right now.
Yeah, please be safe.
This thing is not something to.
This
mess
this
around
new
with.
variant is not as deadly, I am noticing, but it is extremely
Contagious.
Extremely
Yeah.
contagious.
As my
Um,
eyes tear on camera the whole show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
With a tear
so the
in my
matches
eye.
we have next week are Hangman versus Danielson 2, Jay Cargill versus Ruby Soho in the finals of the TBS tournament, Brian Pillman Jr. versus Malachi Black, and shout out to Brian Pillman for an incredible promo he gave on Dynamite this past week.
Mhm.
Really gets you hype going into that match next week. And then the announce earlier in the show of Dynamite, I mean, we have Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros for the tag team titles. Jackie, are you excited to see all of this live next week?
I am so excited. Even if, no shade to the other matches, even if the only match of the entire 2-hour show was Hangman versus Danielson, I'd be totally cool with that. It's looking like a stack card. I'm also excited to see Malachi Black because I'm always excited to see Malachi.
Oh, his
Black.
entrance.
Oh, that entrance! Like even though I gotta say live, it doesn't translate as well as it does to TV because you're seeing a lot of the
Speaking-
in-betweens,
I bet you
but-
guys
Speaking
get
of
Brody
that,
King.
Speaking of that, shout out to anybody who noticed that
I'm walking
obviously-
in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
obviously-
saw that.
Everybody?
Yep. I said that to
Please.
Jackie. I'm like, oh, well, there's he's walking in the back there.
So obviously at Daly's place, the setup is different because they only have one tunnel because it's an amphitheater.
Yeah.
So it was really funny that the camera was probably supposed to pan away and it stayed on it. And when you saw through the smoke, Malachi walked. He just appears places. So, but like that's the
I mean, he
stuff you
can't
see
run,
when
it's
you're there
black.
live. Yeah, that's the stuff you see when you're there live. You see him walk spots, but I mean it's pretty cool.
But no, that's
But,
gonna be
yes.
that's gonna be a fun card to see live. Phil, please, I'm like hoping to whoever is out there in the universe listening that you're able to make it because this
Like,
was
well,
supposed
it's
to be
Fingers
our
crossed.
It's only 5 days from symptoms now with the
So
CDC.
that would be
Well,
yesterday. I
fingers
would still
crossed for
be
you
able to go.
guys. You guys are not living up here. They just announced today that any sporting event, especially here
crowd.
in Ontario, no, only 1,000 people are allowed in.
Oh wow.
Well,
Wow.
we're part of the 1,000. We do an AEW podcast.
Yeah, and we're
I
gonna
will be there.
if we could get Dax his bottle of tequila, I think we've secured our tickets to
Yeah, that's
the
very, very true.
AEW North.
Adam said, did anyone notice there were a couple screams when Malachi disappeared? I did not.
Was that
No,
just
I didn't
normal
notice
people
either.
in the crowd just screaming?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't notice it at all. I was too busy
I'll have to
laughing
go, I'll have
that
to
we
go
could see
back
him
and
walking
listen.
away.
But I think you guys are getting Brody King next week. I think that's
Okay.
gonna be a big debut. I think he's gonna. I don't even think they're gonna. It's either just gonna walk out with Malachi and that's gonna be the surprise, or he's gonna come out and cost. He'll be like a hooded figure or something and blow black mist in Brian Pillman's face, and then after the match, he'll take the hood off and it'll be Brody King. You guys.
For some
are gonna get
reason,
that
I
big
feel
debut.
like Pillman, after he gets beats, turning into like that. Because like his promo was very calm and then he would start screaming. And it's like, is he battling the inner demon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
possible.
we haven't seen Julia Hart since she got
Yeah.
sprayed, so I'm
Yeah.
leaning more towards her joining to be this new dark figure.
You
That
never
would be
know.
really cool. That would be really, really cool. Now, another big show that's coming up this week will be actually tomorrow. So we have a great Rampage coming up. We have
Rampage.
Cody Rhodes versus Ethan Page for the TNT title. We have Ty Conti and Anna Jay versus Ali and Penelope in the street fight that has everybody talking, like I said
Damn right.
earlier. Standing ovation. Some of the pictures are out there, and it looks like it is going to be a fucking barn burner. So definitely make sure you guys watch that. And then Darby Allin versus Bowens. I'm very excited for that match because Anthony Bowens is an incredible wrestler, and I love that he's getting continued matches,
Everyone
singles
loves the
matches,
Acclaim.
getting to show off what he can do. But Kyle, are you excited for this?
Hell
week's
yeah!
Rampage
Everyone
as
loves
a
the Acclaim,
fellow
man.
TCB boy.
TCB and Acclaim. I'm all for the Acclaim. I absolutely love the Acclaim. I don't even care if anyone claps back at me. And
I
says
love
they're
the
crap.
Acclaim.
I absolutely
I
love
love
the
them.
Acclaim. Both of them are incredible. They're both talented. Anytime they're on TV, yeah, you got my attention. But TCB boys, we're gonna be full force tomorrow watching that match. I cannot wait to see, just from the picture that got released of Ali with the whole bloody like crimson mask and Tay and Ty hugging each other after the match. Like, I cannot wait to see this match. And from shout outs to Jamie Strange from our team, who was there live, told us without spoiling that it was an incredible match, and we're going to be thrilled to watch it. So it's going to be awesome. And shout outs to, I guess, Tay Conti, who pointed at her Elite POV sign. So shout outs, Tay, if you've watched this
We
back
love her.
at any point. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate that. But yeah, I'm pumped for Rampage tomorrow, guys. It's going to be a must watch. Must watch.
And watch it live. Let's
Watch
get
it live,
these
yes,
ratings up.
please.
Get these ratings up. Please.
Yeah, no, who cares if you go watch Mariah Carey lip sync on YouTube? Fucking, it's New Year's Eve. We don't
Nothing's
need to watch
happening
any
New Year's this year.
performances.
Listen,
No.
everybody has 2 goals tomorrow. 1, you're watching Rampage live, and 2, you're watching Cobra Kai season 4.
You see
Okay, 'cause it
the
drops on
you-
Netflix.
And you
You-
buying
you
a new
see-
Pinnacle of podcast shirt on Elite POV.
That's 3.
you see the ball
Yes.
drop. Mine dropped like 22 years ago. Like
I'm
we don't
still
need to
waiting for
fucking
mine to
watch-
drop.
Only
Mine dropped.
22?
Yo, Ant, mine dropped and it
22
rolled
when
out,
I was
bro.
12?
lost it. Ant, do you know where it is? Can you help me find mine?
Yeah.
I only have the 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Book of Boba Fett. Go watch that.
here it is, right
Oh
here,
my
buddy.
god, dude, Kyle, we got to talk about this after the show. what a great episode of Book of Boba Fett. That is incredible. But an absolute great episode of Dynamite this week.
And-
great episode of Rampage.
Next week,
Yes.
next Saturday,
Oh,
we'll be live in the morning.
what?
Yes.
In
So
the morning, you say?
we have a brand new show coming for you guys. We will now be with you live twice a week because we are going to start covering Rampage. Now, with this Saturday Rampage show, it's going to function a little different. We're going to give different people the chance to host. We're going to have a rotating cast because, of course, it is a Saturday. If you're going to a meet and greet or you're doing something with family or you have plans, people are going to be in and out. And then the main thing, Patreons who subscribe to the tier for us that gives you a chance to be on the show with us. This is the show that you will be on. So we are going to start reaching out to people. We are very excited. We were going to start it this week, but with New Year's and New Year's Day,
COVID.
yeah, with COVID, everything going on,
Aunt
we're going
Rona.
to wait another week, and it's going to be a great time. And it's going to be funny, too, because that night is also Battle of the Belts. So we're going to see what's going on
Yeah.
with everything.
You'll see Jamie on here, Infinity. You'll see the
Yeah.
whole team really get
Yeah.
spotlighted. We're talking to Heel Please Heel, Crossface Costin. He's one of our boys. He'll be on. We
Mhm.
have guests lined up.
Yep.
I started reaching out to the $20 tier, the Best in the World tiers about coming on.
Mhm.
So it's going to be a really fun show, a little bit looser, less structured
Yep.
than this, and shorter. So don't think we're going to take up your whole Saturday morning.
I'm
Yep.
sorry, guys. We
Yeah.
can't have everybody on the show. It's not what this podcast is. So we have to benefit the people who do support us in bigger ways than most. So this is a way for us to do that for them.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Revolving
Yeah.
door, right? And it'll be good kind of practice to see us different hosts and hey, it's gonna be a big year for us. This
I don't
show
even
is a
remember
very
how to
big year.
host.
Yeah, it's not at all,
Hi,
right?
my
I mean,
name is
Jackie carried you through that
Ant.
interview.
I don't really know what I'm doing.
This is a
anymore.
podcast
Jackie,
It's
about
been a
wrestling.
while.
was the AEW. Jackie was the AEW breakout star of the year for getting through that interview
Yep.
with only like a month of
She's the
podcasting
Elite
on her
POV
belt.
breakout star of the year.
Without
it's
fainting.
unbelievable. And with that being said, youtube.com/Elite POV. We have a ton of incredible content. Our shows are up, our replays are up there, but also you get Rain on Wrestling. The last one that came out called Be Better is a must listen. Make sure you go check that out. Episode 2 of Top Girl Talk is up there for everybody. It is not behind a paywall. That also is a very important episode about all the stuff that female fans have to go with being fans of wrestling because guys are fucking terrible when it comes to this fandom. Also, we have 2 huge interviews. If you guys are listening to this and haven't had a chance to check it out, it is on our podcast feed and the video form is on YouTube. We had the pleasure of me and Kyle being able to interview Ty Conti and Jackie and being able to interview FTR. Shout out to all the places like Fightful, Wrestling Purists, and others who are sharing all of our
Wrestle
links.
Talk.
Wrestle Talk and
Wrestle Talk.
tagging
Support
us
Wrestle Talk.
and everything that we are doing. So thank you guys for that. Make sure you go check it out. That FTR interview, man, those views are rising very, very quickly with it being picked up by multiple sources. So thank you guys for that support. Also, like I said, patreon.com/Elite POV. You get these shows first. I just put up my full collection video on the YouTube, but if you were on the Patreon, you could just saw it about a month ago. ElitePOVmerch.com. Get our brand new merch of the Pinnacle of Podcasts. Get this brand new, or not brand new, but this incredible Jamie Strange shirt. And
Brand
next
new
week
to you.
we'll see. Yeah, it's brand new to me. We'll
New to
see
me,
what shirt I
damn it.
wear. I'll give you guys a chance to vote again to whose shirt I wear.
It should
next
just be
week.
strange every single week.
No, well, she's not going to be in it next week because I'm going to add Infinity this.
So
So we will see
Boo.
what is going on. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Philium Elite. If you want to follow the show, it's at Elite POV everywhere. And on TikTok, it's Elite POV Clips. Jackie, let them know where they can follow you.
You can find me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24, and you can find me on Instagram at JacksTheDrawPOV. I almost feel tempted if you get us to like 2,000 or 3,000 views on the FTR interview, I should just change my handle to Cash Wheeler's Thighs at this
No,
point.
Jackie Wheeler
That should
Now
Yuta.
be
you
the
have to watch.
No,
it.
no, it's
Now
got to
you
be
have-
Jackie Wheeler Yuta.
Yes,
No,
Jackie
never.
Wheeler Yuta. The
Yeah.
chat
Never.
has spoken.
Yeah.
You have to
No,
change it to Jackie
never.
Wheeler
Wheeler Yuta.
Yuta.
Come on, guys,
No,
get
no,
those
no.
views on there.
Get those
We
views
get
to
it done.
3,000.
Jackie Wheeler Yuta will be her Twitter handle.
No. Okay, it can't be my Twitter handle because
Twitter
I
name.
can't
Twitter
change it.
name,
My
sorry.
Twitter display name.
Your display will be Jackie Wheeler Yuta for 1 month.
1 month,
1
Kyle.
month. 1 month.
No.
1 week.
Yes.
No. It'll be
No.
1 month. It'll
Oh.
be 1 month if we get 5,000 views. 1 week if we get past high copies.
Boo! Come on.
Listen, I'll be
No.
here. I'll negotiate. All right, I got
Yeah.
this. My client will not sign on this paper.
Ant Sterling. Smart Ant Sterling.
Smart
Look at the
Mark
suit.
Ant
He's
Sterling.
ready for it. And let them know where they can follow you and everything you got going.
You can follow me at ant_is_elite. eFeds. Just pay attention to Twitter. A lot of stuff going on with the eFeds as I'm about to move in a month. A lot of shit's going on. I'm going to start streaming more. I'm going to continue to do Elite POV content, probably more content coming soon. I'm scheduling someone for the second episode of This Is Me. Go check out the first one. Jackie interviewed our boy Infinity. It was fantastic. And little 2022 advice, guys. If you can do it yourself, do it. Don't work for other people's dreams. You can do that for a job. You can do that for money. But when it comes to content creating and stuff you love, don't outwork people who don't want it as bad as you. Don't push for someone else's dreams. Follow yours. It brought me back here. It brought this whole team together. And we're having a pretty fucking good run, I'd say. Probably up there with Danielson in the last 3 months. So
Yeah.
just follow your passion and do what you can do to better yourself. And if you leave some people behind, well, that's where they're meant to be.
Yeah, Kyle, let them know where they can follow you and everything that you got going.
You can follow me at I'm moving my whole entire life this week on Twitter. No, I'm,
They let you have that whole handle, bro? Damn.
yeah. I got it confirmed. But nah, All Elite Kyle. You can follow me on Twitter, guys. It's going to be a big year for Elite POV. You guys are not going to want to miss this train. Hop on now. Hop on this ride. We're going to be taking
Are we running the train? What are we?
I don't know. We're somewhere on the train. I don't know. Ants in the bar cart.
I'm not touching that. I'm not
Don't,
touching it.
please don't.
You didn't say that last week.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. Anyways, but
That's
yeah,
why we-
it's gonna
that's
be
why we
really
both
big
got COVID.
things. I'm slowly working on something big for the Patreon. It's gonna be something special to me. Has to do with Sean Spears. I'm gonna do a lot of work in that, but I'm gonna do more work into it once I move. I'm finally moving this weekend. As of next week, you'll see a different backdrop. I'll be finally in my new apartment, but maybe I really don't know what next week is going to be like. So we'll see if I
You might not
on
be
the
here.
show. I might not be on the show. We'll see. But I hope you guys
see
all have a great and fantastic New Year's this weekend. Guys, be safe out there. Like we said, this variant is not something to play with. As two of our hosts, well, at least one of our hosts has it right now, and the other one we're waiting on
Yeah.
a test. So
Oh yeah. By the way, guys, no after show this week. We are sorry, but I
Yeah.
feel like a bag of shit.
any
Feeling
questions
like
you
shit.
submitted will be
We were
submitted next
lucky
week.
to get him through
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show.
an hour and a half.
And some
like,
people
yeah.
did submit questions. They'll be moved into next week. So don't you guys worry about
we
that.
will honor those questions.
Yeah.
And make sure you sign up to the Patreon on Sunday so you get a full month and you get to watch our Christmas episode and get
Yeah.
to see
That's
me
what
laugh
I-
harder than I've ever laughed in my
That's the best.
Well, thank you guys for listening and watching another episode of Elite POV. And remember, you don't need a hat to be a cowboy.
You did the
We will see you in 2022.
We did it.
Kwai.